600,000 users.
That's true. It was a drop in the bucket. A farmer that maybe was earning $10 now can do $500. Tech is the way. Less than 3% in emerging markets get funding. The biggest population of 1.5 billion, who's going to feed them?
Well, I feel great.
Hi, Aurora Prod. We have here Penny Musengi from Pacira Technologies. Penny founded Pacira Technologies in Kenya, and this is actually an agri-tech and financial inclusion company. And today we're going to figure out how was her way, like what did she do to make her way into the big business. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Okay, I'm fine. How did you actually come up with this idea of founding Pacira in particular, and what does it mean, Pacira, actually?
Oh, okay. So in Kiswahili, pesa means money, and then innovation in agriculture, so Pacira. Right, that's how it came to be. Now, my background of banking of almost 12 years, social investment, been in Rotary, working with various communities, trying to lobby for policy for government. I'd look at it as we're not making a lot of impact. And this is because 70% of the population largely are banked as small-scale farmers. And it's because they are deemed risky, they don't have records, they don't have access to markets. So that's how the idea came. I was like, if I solve the opportunity to 500 million population of farmers, then they can be food secure, create jobs, have financial inclusion, be at the forefront of climate. And I was like, that's agriculture. Yeah. It's the largest that can be able to solve all those problems. And that's now how I came up with the agri-fintech.
This is actually fantastic. Did you have something to do with the agriculture before? Did you understand the business and how the farming works?
Actually, in high school, I was given what you call like a fork and a small plot, and also traumatized. This is because when growing up, the books depicted agriculture as someone that's suffering. And even up to date, the small-scale farmer in Africa is deemed like struggling. Whereas look at a small-scale farmer or a large-scale farmer in a developed country, they have a windmill, the kids are going to school, they look happy. I was like, no, agriculture, everyone is struggling. They're doing something, but they can't feed themselves. But then, now with technology, that changed, right? But then now with my background in financial sector, having been an entrepreneur myself, and then Africa being run by agriculture as the largest economy and the biggest population of 1.5 billion, who's going to feed them, right? So that's how I thought, okay, let me combine agri, but do it in tech.
For AfriBlock's exclusive interview, you said that, if I'm mistaken, just tell me, that you come from a pastoral community.
Yes.
Okay, so, and you spent 10 plus years in African social projects before founding Pacira. What was the turning point for you, and where did you realize you needed to found a tech platform?
In the social enterprises that we're doing, we're getting funding, we're going to the markets, the regions, we're deploying what we thought that would solve problems, but it was a drop in the bucket. Because then you're not really empowering the person to make the decision to change their livelihood. You're just giving them something, right? Maybe you're building them a house or you're building them a dam, but you're not taking them to the river to teach them how to feed themselves and be sustainable. And then I looked at which is the largest industry. It's agriculture. And then which is the one that can do everything from job creation, financial inclusion, rural women inclusivity. And I realized that that's when I want to create it, but how quickly can I deploy it? Tech is the way. Looking at infrastructure challenges in Africa, digitization is the only way in technology to move with speed.
What is, for you, the hardest thing to actually build a tech company that serves people who've historically, I guess, been ignored by tech companies?
The initial thing is that segment had what you call fatigue. A lot of people had come in, either they've been funded, either by development partners, or they've gotten funding, and they're targeting the farmers to pay for an app, either for farm management, to access solutions, which are very expensive. And yet the farmer cannot get inputs, have access to market, get financing. So they cannot pay the $20 per month to just access an app. So when I thought about digitizing farmers for free, and then making them credit worthy so I can attract financial institution to plug into that data. That data is what they use now to curate better products. It took me a year and a half to convince them because they were very traditional. But then at some point, I was like, okay, we're not going to make money immediately from there, but we are going to give them the free transactional ledgers, credit rating using AI, let the bank see. But then I looked at the entire agricultural sector. It was fragmented. And they depended on the farmer who, if he has the tools, they can trace what fertilizer he's used, whether he's used a certified seed, then he can go to market, get a contract, then it's all sustainable. So I started building software as a service for the entire ecosystem, started getting them to pay for our software. Then I also targeted government and development partners, huge contributors and supporters of agriculture, but huge leakages of funds because there's no traceability or systems to monitor and deploy. So then I was like, okay, for it to work, it has to be an entire platform. We have to be the infrastructure for that, but still keep the farmer at the forefront, ensure that they're always getting digitized for free, and our business model allows that.
What do you think, why is an integrated platform better than solving each problem, finance, market, logistics separately?
It has to be integrated because if you can predict weather, then you're very sure that the farmer is growing their crop at the right time. If you have data, you can predict whether they're going to go to market, repay, what are their transactions, what have they been purchasing, etc. If you link the market and they have a contract, you're very confident they're going to repay a loan. If they have farm management tools, they can plan their tasks on the season. So it can't be a singular thing. They can't be only an app for soil tech, only an app for weather tech, a very exclusive financial product which doesn't plug into agriculture because agriculture is very unique. It's very seasonal. And then also looking at embedded finance, can you protect the loan? Can you provide for climate shocks, including insurance like produce cover? But then on the same platform, can the buyers predict yield, trace where the producers come from, be able to predict prices, and they give the prices so it's market driven? And then now for the entire country, like development partners and government, can they plug in to deploy training programs better? So that ecosystem has to thrive together.
Do you understand how did the farmers' day look before Pacira and how does it look right now?
So before Pacira, they would not have information on weather. They wouldn't know where to sell their produce. They'd get inputs and supplies that are not certified. It means that they use a certain fertilizer, maybe their crop would not grow. They would not have visibility or any records for them to access financial services. So now after Pacira, a farmer that maybe was earning $10 now can do $500, start now it becoming a sustainable income generating revenue and business, and then they are more empowered for choices. And then we started seeing that uplifts not only the farmer, but the whole household and livelihoods.
How does Pacira function in a low infrastructure environments? For instance, if there's a problem with the internet or other providers, is there problems like that? And how do you actually find a solution to that?
So I'll say Kenya, because we're in 5 countries, highly digitized, almost 99%. And then look at DRC, DR Congo, limited, maybe 5%. So first we localize the language, we use AI. The system can speak the language.
Okay.
Then we use USSD. That is the short code messaging. So it doesn't need to have Android or download an app. So it just sends a message, then simple, they can choose steps, respond back. And then also we deploy voice where they're called and then they're told, you need to either get fertilizer from here, or these are the prices of finance, etc., or these are the programs. So we're able to deploy that. Then also we use a lot of videos which they can be circulated using their local language.
That's actually a nice solution. I wanted to ask you, how many users do you have? And I actually was surprised when I found out there's actually more than 600,000 users. Is it true?
That's true. So we have over 600,000 users on the platform.
Wow.
We used a rapid adoption strategy. So all the other ecosystem users give us the farmers and then we digitize them. However, we are the digitizing, implementing partners for Alliance of Biobasticiat, and they're also here in Colombia, and DCP for 15 countries to digitize 30 million farmers for the next 5 years. So that means that we are scaling. And then we do have 161 agribusinesses using our SaaS products, our development partners and government. And our recent interesting win was DRC Congo. our limited digitization offline, we're able to trace all the way disbursement of programs, seeds to 65,000 women households.
You've mentioned the government that actually helping you a lot, but like as them being partners and regulators and agri-tech, how do you manage those relationships? Like, is it an asset or actually a risk for scaling for you?
It's both. You find that innovation is always ahead of policy, right? And by the time government is figuring out what you're doing, they're trying to play catch up. And you find that we need to move with speed because we don't have time to sometimes bridge that gap. But then we are seeing a lot of interest in terms of startups, giving tax exemptions, creating more robust, engaging environment. But then also there are governments like we're working in Rwanda that you're seeing are intentionally pushing digitization. And they want to partner with startups like ours to maybe deliver more impact to their farmers. And there are also governments that are cognizant that they may not do everything privatization does. They might move slower, like in Tanzania. And they're like, okay, can we partner with Pesira, with other partners for us to deploy or support them for either collaboration or bringing people to get the services. So it's varied based on the country. But we are seeing that they're trying to bridge the gap between government and private sector and startups.
I will ask with a very basic but a super important questions because I want to understand how does it feel for a woman to actually create a business in such a man's world, and how does it feel specifically in Kenya?
Definitely, it's a bit tough, especially getting funding. Less than 3% in emerging markets get funding. And then now coming from Africa, that's very different. And then you find that even when you're pitching, when VCs are giving funding and you're going into rooms, it's a stereotype because they expect you either they're looking for who else is the founder or who else is a decision maker.
Is there a man there?
Yes, there are men there, or they want to mentor you first, thinking that you don't have the experience. But then when I looked at the opportunity and what Pesira is going to do, I decided, let me just go to the market. I really bring the product, let the product speak for itself, and then build the integrity. And then with that, the door started opening.
From our little chit chat before, I actually found out that Kenya is a super place for women to build something because all the opportunities and how society actually works creates that possibility. Is it true?
It's true. In the 80s, there was a huge campaign by the government, development partners to do empowerment for girls, to go to school, to get better jobs, to get better pay, equality, and the women took it. So you find that from a CEO to a lady who owns a small shop, the ladies are making the decisions, there's opportunity. But even in the family unit, the girls are given equal education opportunity, so there isn't a bias. So that has given us a huge leverage. And then Kenya is almost 99% digitized, so you have information at your fingertips. So even if you're a woman founder or running a business, even before someone comes and looks at it as who's behind Pesira, is if you have a good product, then they're buying the product before they find out whether it's Penny or Grace that runs it. So that has been very instrumental. Then there are also other opportunities that are pushing women like unsecured loan, cheaper funding. However, of course, like the gap we're trying to fill, like the women not having records, but the opportunities are there. And then the other is just the fact that society has pushed women to be at the forefront. We're not saying that men have taken a back seat, but women have been forced to start earning more income to complement for the home. So growing up seeing that, then you become very confident to go out and chase the opportunity.
Do you have anything to say to other founders who are actually probably hesitating to fund their own startup? Do you have a message to spread the news, like to send them?
Begin now. If you have an innovation, a solution, something that you think is going to help, just start. Starting is the beginning. Do not be afraid. Look for similar people that can mentor you. Look for opportunities. There's so many global accelerators. And then just believe in yourself and go out there and make a change.